It's time for the Ravagers to rise once again to glory!
You are listening to The Ravager Report, a Fox Next Marvel Strike Force podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news, information, and updates. With your hosts, Dorian.
It is a name what strikes fear into the hearts of anyone what hears it!
And Hebrew Hammer.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Hello and welcome to episode 53 of The Ravager Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me as always is the Honorable Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting here with Chobani yogurt and Pellegrino. So this is like my dream scenario right now.
Very nice. I'm not sure that, I would, do that myself.
Everyone can share that dream. That's everyone's dream. They just don't know it yet.
If you say so. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna tell anybody what their dream should be.
Well, let me tell you, just try it out and then get back to me. It's your dream. That's right.
All right, I'll get right on that. So, anyway, welcome back to the Ravager Report. Just wanted to get some quick housekeeping out of the way. We do appreciate you joining us tonight. We want to give a great big shout out to all our patrons. We recently passed and resubscribed to Podbean for another year, thanks to your guys' wonderful support. So thank you. And for those of you that don't like us, you can blame them. But if you listen and don't like us, thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. But if it is something that you would like to do and you'd like to help support our show, you can do so at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have subscriptions starting at $2 going all the way up to $20. And if you would like to chat with Hebrew and myself, we do have a Discord server. If you go into your web browser and type in discord.me/Ravager Report, that will get you to the server where you can listen to us record live every Friday night. You can chat with us pretty much all the time and, listen as we record during the live show and give feedback and call in if you want to talk to us during the show and you want to ask a question or talk about a segment. Just let us know. We have a channel set up specifically for that, and you can be on the air just like the old time talk show radio. Hebrew, before we get into the game news of the week, and we've got quite a bit here, why don't you let everybody know what you've been up to?
So I've been getting back into League of Legends, like really hardcore. So that's been a lot of fun, playing their new game mode called Teamfight Tactics. So if anyone's really good at League of Legends, especially Teamfight Tactics, hit me up. Help me learn how to play TFT because I'm not very good at it. So yeah, doing that and just like getting excited for all the new games that they have coming out. I'm really pumped about that. Probably going to be doing some content for the Hearthstone version that they have coming out, as well as probably the fighter. So I'm pretty excited about all that stuff. Playing Borderlands a lot. And other than that, I had to help a friend move this past Sunday, which was terrible.
Moves always are.
It's so bad. I hate helping people move. I literally told him, I was like, all right, let's make a pact right now. Like, he had helped me move before, so I'm like, I've helped you move. You've helped me move. Let's just promise to never help each other move again and just hire their own moving crew because we're done. Like, I want to preserve our friendship, and moving is not the way to do that. So, or making me move your shit is not the way to do that, at least. So yeah, other than that, pretty normal week, school stuff. That's still working on trying to kill the infestation of bugs in my apartment. It's gross. I literally went out and bought motion cameras now, so I can try to track down where the hell these things are coming from. It's crazy. But yeah, other than that, pretty normal. What about you?
Well, it's been kind of a up and down week. Went back to work and actually put in a full week of work, which is fantastic. But it's been kind of an adjustment going back. Nothing else really big this week has been happening like outside of game. Yeah, no, I can't really think of anything. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Oh, there is one thing, and I hope you don't mind if I do a little bit of self-promotion here. So, as you guys may or may not know, I've started playing a new game, Dragon Champions, after I started playing before I quit Galaxy of Heroes. But now that I've quit Galaxy of Heroes, I've gone really hardcore into Dragon Champions. In fact, I think I've dropped like $35 into the game already, because the value feels good, right? But I have started also a new podcast for that game called Ninja Panda Chronicles. And it's separate from Ravager. It's on my own channel. If you guys want to hear it, it's at dorianblade.podbean.com, where I'm going to be dropping new projects. I plan on starting another podcast called Off Mic with Dorian Blade, where I interview other content creators and kind of talk about the content creation process and each of our different styles and things for how we do it. In fact, I'm trying to line Hebrew up, but he doesn't want to do a podcast with me for some reason.
Whoa, wait. No, I said I would do that. I just didn't want to fill out the ridiculous amount of questions that come with it.
I was being more facetious because you do a podcast with me. Right? Okay, so
yeah, that's right. Well, that's why I shouldn't answer any of your questions. Just invite me on and let's talk.
Well, yeah, but I need to know what questions to ask you. So, but anyway, but in game this week, I got Scientist Supreme to 6 stars today, and it kind of a funny story. I had blown a lot of gold to upgrade Shocker because I'm working on getting him to 5-star, because apparently you have to have Invisible Woman now because she is amazing in Ultima 7. So working on my Sinister 6 so that I can get her. And so I blew some resources on working on Shocker, and I was only sitting at like 140,000, and I was like, wait, Scientist Supreme's at like 192 of 200. So I refreshed the node a few times with some energy refreshes, like, great, now I'm at 200. And I've only got 150,000 gold. So I'm like, do I wait for the next beta raid to finish so I can get gold orbs? I'm like, no, because I'm really, really, really impatient. And so I bought the gold orb draft for 900 cores. I'm like, whatever. I mean, 900 cores is 2 gold orbs. You're guaranteed at least 2 gold orbs out of this, with the possibility of getting 4. And I got my luck, my MSF luck for the year, and I pulled 4 gold orbs. And wound up getting 400,000 gold thereabouts. It's ridiculous. I hit like the bare minimums on everything. I'm like, this is why I hate these orbs. But it did give me enough to get Scientist Supreme up to 6 stars. So she is one of my daily farms. I'm going to get her to 7, and I'm still working on Assaulter and Security. Security's 6-star now, but man, I don't know what it is about her, but she feels so squishy. It's ridiculous. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's the fact I only have like 2 or 3 red stars on her. It's just, ugh. So yeah, that's been pretty much my week. So a bit going on. Kind of excited, obviously, to be doing the new content, branching out, so to speak. It's hard not having you there with me, though.
Oh, I know. I'm God's gift to man, so yeah. Kidding.
Alrighty then. Moving on. I still got to get a soundboard, man. I keep talking about getting a soundboard.
Yeah, we really have to do that.
And I really, really, really need to do that. But then I got to have a way of getting into the system. So I just don't know. Because the Surface doesn't have that many USB ports. So, and I don't think the show would fund me buying a USB adapter. Like, I feel that's a little personal,
sure.
But
we have a bank. We have a bank that we say, we're really responsible.
We are really responsible.
We are. I mean, like, we set aside, like, at the very beginning, we set aside like money to accrue monthly for like separate funds. So yeah, we've handled our stuff well. So yeah, you can take that out of them.
There's what is it? We've got the general if we need something fund. Then we've got the
subscription fund,
the subscription Podbean fund,
right.
And then
we have our payouts,
right? And that comes off the top before we split the rest. So Yeah, it's all kinds of fun. Oh wow, we got 94 survey responses today.
Oh, almost that sweet 100.
Almost that sweet 100. But here's the cool thing about it: I didn't release it until like 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, I remember you messaged Muggin and I and was like, "Oh wow, there's a spike of it right at the beginning."
Yeah, there was like 30 in like the first 2 minutes. I'm like, huh. Alrighty
I
then.
think people are just excited to talk about the new stuff. We've had such a bombardment. It feels like actually it's been like the past the whole month has been like just a bombardment of new characters, I feel like.
Well, a
Isn't that right?
bombardment of an announcement of new characters. I mean,
Yeah,
they're,
but I
they're
mean, they
still
are-
releasing
they are
on the
coming.
same kind of schedule, but
Yeah, I guess maybe it's just the news hype of them. But like
Right.
either way, yeah, we've got to learn so much more about new characters coming, and there's been lots of leaks and stuff like that. It's been a pretty big month.
yeah, it really has. And when we get into the news section and kind of do some, it came from Reddit stuff. There's people talking about content, right? That they want content and that characters aren't content. So before we get into the survey, actually, let's just segue real quick.
Yeah.
Hebrew, are new characters? Do you consider new characters "quote unquote" content?
I think we've talked about this
Have
exact
we?
thing on maybe like a couple of episodes ago, but either way, like we could do another brief answer on it. So I think it is generally considered new content, but it's not quality content, like good quality content, because it's new characters. They're new and they do take new intricate things that they do sometimes, but it's not quality as in it's mostly recycled stuff. Like quality content is new applications for my characters and things like that, like modes. I would consider new content, something that hasn't been done before. Everything that we have so far has just been different recycled versions of themselves. So I would like to see just something totally off the wall that they haven't really done before. Like, and I've said this so many times, but like that boss mode thing that we've spoken about from Swugga, like that rating style system would be a really cool thing to introduce in this game, I think.
It's also in Dragon Champions now. Or
Well, that's
Dragon,
great.
That's how Dragon Champions raids. You've got four
Well,
phases
that's
with
great.
bosses.
Yeah, I think that's just so much cooler, and at least from my understanding and experience, less time consuming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
So-
not to. I mean, because Dragon Champions is so new. Obviously, my alliance our guild is running the 5th level of the raid. It takes us about a day to do. But like if we go with Swugga, like the pit, well, you can just sim the pit raid now, which is the Rancor. The tank takes 15-20 minutes maybe, and you can auto it. The Sith raid does take a little bit longer, but you can get it knocked out in about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I just like the idea of just going straight to the boss and having some epic boss battle. Like, for some reason, it's just so much more exciting to me than having to shuffle through all of the crap to get there first.
Right.
And I just think that it would be such a missed opportunity if we don't fight against Galactus in some awesome stage where it's just Galactus and we have to all like get all of our characters and come together and beat Galactus. Like I just think something like that would be so cool. So
Yeah.
I hope that they do it. It's probably a pipe dream, but yeah. Anyways, I consider something like that that's just different. That's quality, new quality content. But this is technically new content.
Yeah, and I think that's where you and I do disagree, because for me, the characters are, they're the collection cards, right? They're not the game. They are what you use to play the game. So to me, content is like Alliance Wars or a new raid or like the Elsa Bloodstone campaign. To me, that's new content. The characters are just the pieces you use to play the game.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's just I'm not saying that you're wrong. because I don't think you are. I think
it's just opinion.
It's opinion. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, I just thought that was interesting because we do have new content ish, which we're going to get into now as we get into the survey. Yeah, that won't be the sounder.
Hopefully not.
We did the episode 53 listener survey. We did not have one last week. My apologies. It was a really busy week. So this week we covered a couple of things that probably could have been covered last week, but didn't. So starting off, the first section is about the Ultimate 7 raid. So the first question is your alliance doing the Ultimate 7 raid? Yes or no?
My answer is yes.
Yeah, same here. Believe it or not, 36 people said no compared to the 58 that said yes.
I'm not surprised with combination of like people that can't get past 30% or or can't do 60% at least or something like that, and then everyone else that just can't do it because they're too low, like newer players.
Well, and also you have to take into consideration, somebody on Reddit again did some really good number crunching with the maths, and determined basically to equal the number of points that you get 100% from a season standpoint, from an Ultimate 6, 100%, you have to do 40% of the Ultimate 7, roughly.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, like the people that aren't hitting up to that point.
So, yeah, but then you also have to take into consideration, like, for example, our alliance, we are not hitting 40%, but we're still doing Ultimate 7 because even if we did the Ultimate 6, we are not losing enough points by moving to the Ultimate 7 that we are going to drop in our season rankings. So we're going to sit in that like 2% range. Whereas, if we had stayed at the Ultimate 6, we'd still be in that 2% range. So this way, we stay in that same bracket of payout and get the bonus rewards from the Ultimate 7. So for anybody doing that, take that into consideration. If losing those points over a season isn't going to drop you out of your current bracket, even if you're only doing 30% of the Ultimate 7, it is better for you because you will get the better rewards, such as the T4 ability mats. Now, it's not a lot, but every little bit helps.
Right.
So, Hebrew, roughly how far are you progressing in the raid? So, did you see the options?
Oh, yeah. So I would be in the 31% to 40%.
Yeah, I that's kind of where we're at as well. So for those of you listening at home, it's the options were 0 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 80, 81 to 99, or 100%. So a majority are only doing the 0 to 30%. I probably should have broken these numbers up a little bit better by saying like 0 to 29, then 30 to 39. So my bad. But so 52 people are in that 0 to 30% range. 27 are in the 31 to 34. 12 are in the 41 to 50. 2 are in the 51 to 60. And 1 person is in the 61 to 80% range. So congrats to you, heavy hitter. Hebrew, do you think that the Ultimate 7 raid is overtuned?
I mean, yes, I do think it is, but it's only a matter of time that we're going to feel like that until inevitably we get a lot stronger, and then it's going to feel like cake again. So it's only going to feel overtuned for a while. So not too concerned.
Yeah, I think this question probably could have been phrased a better way, because I don't think my intent came through properly. When I want hard content, right? I don't mind the fact that it's hard. It's going to take me time to build up my roster or find that combination of teams or whatever to beat specific nodes or anything like that. That's part of the fun, right? That's the strategy. That's what the game is about. The problem is the rewards for the effort are horrible.
Yes, I agree.
So it doesn't feel like it's I put in all this effort, or I only go 3, 4, 5 nodes up my path before I hit a brick wall. And it's like, for this, I'm getting one T4 ability mat? Really? Yeesh.
Yeah.
So, I don't like the fact that only the person that actually finishes the boss nodes gets the T4 ability mat.
Yeah.
That feels like a kick in the teeth a little bit, but yeah, I think the rewards need to be restructured. But that's actually the next question. So I'm actually in the kind of the no. I don't think it's overtuned. I think it's just meant to be extremely difficult. It's not something we're meant to complete right now. But 59 people did say yes, 22 said no, and 13 had no preference.
I just think for me, overtuned, how I would rate overtuned is ability to complete without the needs of a lot of red stars, like high-end red stars. So and I feel like, especially whenever we get to the higher end of this, like red stars aren't going to be a necessity, like high-level red stars are going to be a necessity. So I think that it's overtuned in that way because you just simply can't guarantee it still.
And that's fair, because one of the things that frustrates me, and I'm a host, I can do this, I may change my answer, because I was just thinking, like, so my Scientist Supreme, she's not a 7-star monster like some people, but she's a 6-star with like 3 red, and so she's over 100,000 health. And like on the very first node, I have watched a Merc sniper one-shot her at full health.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, and I've said this myself, like, red stars are the progression system that they chose, and so I'm over that at this point. It's been long enough. Like, that's just what it is, and I'm fine with them using red stars to tune content to a point. But here's the issue, is that past a certain point of red stars, it's very hard to get them to drop over a certain star level. We all know this. We've all experienced this. And the higher you get up into more difficult content, the more you're going to be blocked out of it, basically. Like, we're going to be because this is something that you and I have both said like 1,000 times now since the release. Like, since it's so random and it's such a small percentage, like, we're finally getting to that tipping point where you're going to see people being blocked off because there's no guaranteed way to get those high red stars. At least certainly not efficient in the tiniest bit. I mean, just before this, you and I were talking to the patrons, and there's patrons that have dropped a lot of money on this game that we were talking to. And, I mean, still, like, we had asked, like, at some point, how many red stars do you guys have, or how many high-level red stars do you guys have? All of us only had one, I think.
Or none.
Yeah, or none in your case. So, like, one, like, I have 1706s and, like, three 5s, I think, and you have 1 6 and probably a couple of 5s.
I have a few 5s. Actually, 5s are some of my higher count.
Right, and so thinking of the fact that was kind of the average, and it's been a year since they've been released, and they're randomized, so you don't get to pick who they're on, obviously, it's going to be really hard to be able to actually defeat this content with that progression system that they've chosen while they're tuning all of their new content to that progression system. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's a kind of convoluted issue, but I mean, it is something that we're going to be experiencing more and more. Whales can get through it because they're dropping lots of money, and they can access that stuff a little bit easier. But we're gonna, as free to play people, we're gonna be having a harder time.
Oh, no doubt, we really are. And I did a quick thing. 12. I have 12 5-stars.
12 5-stars, yeah.
Yeah, and 1 6. Though, as a caveat, that 1 6 is Nick Fury.
That is a good one, and I'm jealous of that.
So there, hey, I don't know, man. I might trade you that 6 Fury for a 7 Scientist Supreme at this point.
I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it.
Now, 3 months ago, would you have said that?
Oh my god! I
No.
give it to you in a second.
But here's my problem, right? So this week, ever since the new Elite store was since the Elite store was put out and the Elite orb progression path was redone, I got my very first Elite 5 orb. I pulled a hand blade master.
Oh, that's terrible.
I just went FML, man.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and it's like you're going to be expected to defeat content with that. Like it's just not going to work. So they need to fix the way to acquire this progression system that they've chosen on the higher echelon of the progression system. They need to figure out a way how to reliably acquire these things before we start getting to this really, really difficult content. Because the higher end of Ult 7 is very, very difficult, and I am honestly afraid that there's going to be a lot of people that just won't be able to beat it. Period. Like it's going to be impossible for them.
Yeah, and I'm
even at max level and max gear.
And I'm worried that mods are going to be thrown into the mix. I'm sorry, ISO 8 are going to be thrown into the mix and be part of that requirement. And it's just like, really? Really? So, I don't know, man. There are some things that they do that boggle the mind. And you're just like, how? Just really? Okay. and red stars and tuning content basically requiring red stars is one of those things. Now, look, if I could go farm red stars, fine.
Totally different, yeah.
Totally different.
I still think it'd be a great way to, like, it's just like a secondary shard system, like, for your characters.
Yep.
Like, I still think that's the most reliable way to do it. And you could even have it, like, on top of these things. Like, you know, on top of the red star system that we have. Because it's more of a grindy way to do it, but at least you can do it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, you could do away with red stars at this point and still have this system in place simply by saying, hey, once you hit max yellow stars, you continue collecting shards, and now you start getting red stars, right? And look, I don't care if it takes the same number of shards per red star that it did for gold, right?
Yeah.
Or yellow, or whatever you want to call it.
That's what I would have assumed it would be, but yeah.
Now, the only issue with that is that you do lose your ultimate shards, but you can honestly do away with the ultimate orb. That's a BS orb anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It is for right now, yeah.
You know, I mean, how many times do you open up a premium orb and get like 15 of a character and then go, oh, hey, cool, I have enough now for an ultimate orb. You open an ultimate orb, you get 15 more of that same character.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. There are a lot of things they could do to improve the game. We're kind of a little off track. But it all comes back to, you know, the raid is overtuned in the fact that the you know, Assassin brought up a really good really good point in saying that the character stats don't align with their gameplay. So the characters in the Ultimate 7, the enemies that drop are, well, I don't know where those power numbers are coming from or how they got there.
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
Know? They are absolutely insane. And when, like, my first two nodes, the node number 2 in my lane, the first character that drops is Miles. It's Miles with a Venom and Nobu on one side, and then 3 other people I just ignore on the other side. Because I got to get rid of Venom and Miles as fast as possible. They will wreck your day. Even with an aim team that will flip debuffs, they will absolutely wreck you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many characters there that I am... It's basically a mirror match where stat-wise, we're pretty much on par with each other. Like, if you look at what they have versus what I have for the same character. But they're way stronger. Like,
they're way
stronger.
It doesn't
match up. There is something there, and I'm not sure if it's... I have a feeling that it's mods. Like, and we just can't see it, but I have a feeling that mods are on them. That's a total guess.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the situation is, but yeah, something needs to be fixed. It doesn't make a lot of sense in its current state. Hopefully, more will be explained. But yeah, I also think that what he said is very good. Get Red Star promotion credits in Ult 7.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be great. if they started handing those out once again, like then you could more reliably come across, higher red stars. So lots of ways to do it. We just brainstormed a couple of different ways here with the help of the audience that would be a very good way to implement it. That would still give them a lot of money, and we don't even work for the company, so I'm sure they can do it.
Hey, look, and you know what? No finder's fee. No
Exactly.
no intellectual property fees here. Please just take my idea and run. Please. So that kind of leads us to the next question here. Do you like the rewards for the Ultimate 7 raid? Yes, no, or no preference?
No, I don't.
I'm with you on that one. No, it's way too much. Way too much effort for what you get out of it. So, and then 84 or 79 people said no. 9 people said no preference, and 6 people said yes, they enjoy the raid.
I have just to gauge like what you think is fair, like because I think it's very common in this game that they don't give me the correct rewards that I feel like I should get for the challenging content that I play, except for Fear the Darkness. Whenever I got Ultron out of it, like I think that was fair,
right? I still say Fear the Darkness is the best game mode to have been in this game.
Yeah. So I think like that I felt like I was properly rewarded for my effort. Does that make sense? Like, no more, no less. I just think that was right on point. So I know that they have the ability to tune it that well. It's just they actually need to apply the effort to do it.
So I think one of the things that they need to do is they need to look at the number of orange ability materials that they're giving out upon completion of the raid. Now, look, I understand the raid runs once a day. But at the top end, let's say you're only doing 30%. You're getting, 3 ability mats per day? Like, really?
It's almost a joke.
It is, because a special typically takes like 220.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to take you 60 days, 50, 60 days, 2 months of effort to get one special. That's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
That is really bad. Now, let's say you're able to come in and do 100% on the raid. At 100%, you are getting 10 ability materials per raid for 1 to 2%. And I honestly feel like the 100% needs to move down, and that, you need to space these out a bit more, because the 30%, if you're rank 1 or 2, you get 3. At tier 2 you get 6, and at tier 3 you get 10.
Right.
That 10 is okay, because then you're getting maybe an ability a month.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think that's great, but considering the amount of characters we have and how often they put more out, I still don't think that's great. But yeah, no, I just don't think that's
but you quit Galaxy of Heroes before Zetas came out, didn't you?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah, see, so the difference being that in Galaxy of Heroes, Zetas, which were the top level ability, only, most characters had 1, some characters had 2, the rare character had 3 or more. Unlike Strike Force, where every character has a T4 ability.
Right.
And you have to put the T4 abilities in there to get max. And it's just, it's a ridiculous number that you have to have. So having been a Galaxy of Heroes player, Zetas, and getting it used to be basically you would get a Zeta a month. So,
just because it was all I gotta say is just because it was in that system doesn't make it justifiable, in my opinion.
No. I'm not saying it makes it justifiable. What I'm saying is, like,
I know,
I'm
I
used
agree.
to it.
I know. I know that you don't think that, but
But
like you said, like, it's relative to what you've already played.
Right.
For me, it's not.
Right. The difference also being that, if a character only needed 1 Zeta, okay, but my characters need 4 T4 ability materials. So we're talking 1,000 ability materials per character.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you only need one Zeta per character. That makes it way easier. Like that's a harder. I mean, that's an easier pill to swallow than this.
Right. Yes.
Especially whenever you have situations where they promise you something if you invest your resources into it, and then it doesn't play out for you.
Yeah.
And then you can't get them back.
Yeah. So, Hebrew, the ultimate question though on the Ultimus raid, are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying not playing Ult 6 anymore. Even like that.
I'll put you down in the no preference.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Because I don't particularly like. There's a lot of things I don't like about Ult 7, but at least it's not Ult 6, and that's what matters most in my mind.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'm so done with Ult 6. Yeah,
I'm so done with it was just mind numbing auto. At least I've got a lane. And I'm learning how to beat my nodes. So I like that. But I don't like the fact that I get 2 nodes in, I get punched in the face. with a 280k power team, and I'm getting punched in the face. And I'm like, I'm not that far away from max power here, people. I mean...
Yeah, exactly.
Get me at least till node 4, and don't even think about trying the boss node.
Yeah, lol.
Ugh. That is just dumb. Now, there was a question. Hold on. I want to see if I ask this further on down. We'll talk about it in the news section. I didn't add it to this survey. I thought I did. I may have taken it away. Basically, it's about a bug in the raids. Oh, I took it away because it apparently is affecting all the raids, not just the Ultimus raid. Have you seen or heard about the Ultron 1 hit point bug?
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay,
the revive issue.
So we'll talk about it a little bit later in the news section. Actually, you know what? No, we're talking about the Ultimus 7 raid now. This is not part of the survey. We're gonna. No, let's finish the survey, and then we'll talk about it. So then, waffling back and forth. So next section is about update 3.6.1. Hebrew, are you aware there will be a new minor version update to the game?
Yes.
Yeah. Same here. 69 people said yes. 25 people said no. Will you be downloading the update, yes or no?
Yeah, of course I will.
Yeah, I will be too. 81 said yes. 13 said no. If you said no, why? So the options were, I don't want to have to download all the assets again. I don't care about the storyline or other. Or I will be downloading the update. Obviously, I will be downloading the update was one of the biggest selections. 7 people said they don't care about the storyline. 5 people said they don't want to have to download all the assets again. And 2 said other. And then I threw this one out because this one was kind of funny to me. But someone on Reddit posted a conspiracy theory that the update was being released to, quote-unquote, hide negative reviews tied to the current update. Do you believe Foxnext's explanation of the storyline, or do you think that there are ulterior motives? So the options were, I believe Foxnext, the truth is likely somewhere in between, totally ulterior motives, or no preference.
I'm just going to go ahead and put the truth is likely somewhere in between.
Yeah, I think the truth is likely somewhere in between as well. I'm sure it's needed for the storyline, but it's weird that we've never had. We had to have one prior update or something. I think was it during the rescue, because with Falcon and Rescue, because Falcon we only got half the campaign, and then we got Rescue in the other half or something. And I think there had to be an update so that they could put that out there, so that that was a Marvel thing. But
yeah, I think so.
48 people, so roughly 51% said that the truth is likely somewhere in between. 19 people said they believe Foxnext. 18 had no preference, and 9 said it was totally ulterior motives. Our next and final section. Words hard today. Do you know is all about Elsa Bloodstone. So, do you know who Elsa Bloodstone is in Marvel lore? Yes or no?
I do now because you were talking about it earlier in patron chat. So yeah,
fair enough. So 69 people said no, 25 people said yes. Yes, I do know who. I answered yes on that one. So, are you excited for Elsa Bloodstone to be coming to MSF? Yes, no, or no preference?
Yeah, I think there might have been some cooler characters, but I certainly don't mind her.
Yeah, I have no preference here. She's she's almost in that America Chavez camp for me. Like, meh, okay.
Like, sure, okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I have no idea who this. I really didn't have any idea. It's another obscure character placement for reasons. I guess.
Yeah.
Halloween, maybe something. I guess I don't know. But 39 people said yes. 25 people said no. And 30 people said no preference. Are you going to do extra to get Elsa up as much as possible? So yes, you'll be refreshing daily. No, you'll just be doing the regular, or no preference.
I'm just going to do the regular.
Yeah, same here. 59 people said that as well. 37 said yes, they'll be refreshing daily. 1 said no preference. Thank you, Cybershark. So Elsa will be the last member of the Supernatural team. What node or nodes do you think the team will work good in? Arena, Blitz, Greek Raids, Ultimus Not 7, Ultimus 7, or War?
Probably like Blitz, I'd imagine, is the best for it.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you. They're probably going to have some War viability as well.
Oh, yeah, they will. I mean, you can... Yeah, I mean, they'll be pretty good in War, but not like crazy.
So that seemed to have been the biggest option, or Blitz was, so 87 people said Blitz, 67, War came in second with 67. The Greek Raids came in third with 34. Ultimus Not 7 came in with 25. Arena came in with 16 people, and Ultimus 7 came in at 5 people. And then finally, do you think the Supernatural team will be required for a future Legendary event? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be.
Yeah, same here. 72 said yes. 22 said no. And that does it for this week's survey. Thank you to everybody who participated, and to those who didn't participate, be on the lookout. We do release those every week. Well, usually every week, somewhere between Wednesday and Friday. And then we will come back to the survey a little later for the grab bag. So, Hebrew, let's go into this week news, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we started talking about it. I hadn't added it to the show notes. I'm going to add that right now. But and I apologize if people are hearing my cat. He likes to talk. But the Ultron 1 hit point bug. So you've seen this?
Yeah. Well, I've just heard about it. I haven't experienced it yet.
Okay. Well, I have actually experienced it. I've tested it out. I've figured out kind of, what causes it, how it happens. And I've done some testing. I meant to put a video out, but things got kind of insane yesterday personally, so I didn't have a chance to work on the video. I'm going to put it out this weekend. But basically what happens is if you go into a raid node and you fight with Ultron and he gets healed up at the end of the fight, if he was healed at max, he only displays at 1 hit point less than max, right? So if your Ultron has 100,000 hit points, then it would show 9,990 or 99,999, right? So
Right.
It looks like he has to get a heal, which is extremely important for Ultron, because if Ultron is not at max health when you go into the next node, he will not revive.
Right.
So I did some testing, and I found out that if he was healed up like to the max through like Minerva or the Ultron Fabricator, when you finish the node, and he only shows that like 99,999, instead of the full 100,000. If you take him into the next node and he dies, he will revive.
Right.
So if you see this, don't waste your heals on this, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't waste your heals. It's not worth it. If he was not healed back to full, then he won't revive. Does that make sense? The problem is you don't know, but if like at the very end of a fight, the last person you kill, if you've got Minerva in there, right? And the last person you kill, if he doesn't get hit points, he's probably at full.
Right.
So unless somebody was really, 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 really hurt. So I mean, use your good judgment on this, but I wouldn't waste heals on it. You do perhaps run the risk of him not reviving, but man, I would tell you to save those until you really need them.
Yeah, I would agree.
And this is coming from somebody who didn't realize this at first and wasted tons of heals on Ultron trying to get through nodes.
Right.
So I do hope to have a video out showcasing this, showing him being at basically 100% health in the fight, coming out of the fight, showing that he had one point of health missing going into the next fight, and him dying and reviving. So I hope to have that out this weekend if I get some time.
I think hopefully they'll fix it soon. Is my thing. Like
Fox Next is aware of it; they are looking into it.
Okay.
So
I guess I overestimate these things, or I guess underestimate these things in my head as to the fix. But I don't know. It's a pretty big thing considering how important Ultron is. You know, to us that are completing content with him.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel like it's very annoying whenever it takes so long for them to respond to something like this. Like, as respond, not vocally like respond, but I mean like, you know, respond as an actual fix to the game respond, not like PR respond.
Yeah, I'd like to see them put it out sooner rather than later, but you know, you can only roll a rock uphill so far or so fast. We did get a dev blog today, and in this dev blog, the main focus was on Elsa Bloodstone. So Elsa Bloodstone is coming in a new event campaign. I can't remember exactly when that's starting. I want to say the next few days. I can't remember if there was an exact date on that. If there was, I don't remember. Apologize. I was just in the game, and I didn't see it in the campaign. So if it's in game right now, I'm going to feel really stupid. And we're going to do some selective editing. No, I don't see it in the campaign. Good. I didn't think it was in there yet. Let's see. Do you want to build a monster squad? If yes, then you'll need Elsa Bloodstone. A blaster who loves to crit and hates to miss, Elsa specializes in emptying clips into her enemies and attacking again when she or an ally misses an attack. Elsa can ignore taunt and stealth, so she's great for finishing foes who are teetering on the brink. Her ability breakdown. So her basic is called Bloody Good Guns. Attack primary target for piercing damage and bonus attack 5 times for piercing damage. Her special Trick Shot has an energy cost of 5. It starts with 2. Attack primary target for damage. Attack the most injured enemy for damage, ignoring taunt and stealth. And I apologize, the dev blog does not have damage numbers, so I can't. I just don't have them to give to you. Her ultimate is called Scatterguns. Energy cost 6, starts 6. Gain offense up for 2 turns. Attack primary target and adjacent targets for X damage per supernatural ally. And then her passive, hashtag %, $, exclamation point. On miss or an ally miss, if this character has 3 or more supernatural allies, attack that target for X damage. On enemy dodge, attack that enemy for X damage. Gain crit chance. Mystic allies gain crit chance. Gain accuracy. So gain X accuracy per supernatural ally. sporting the supernatural trait, and we'll get that into a second. So, Hebrew, listening to her kit, what's your initial impression about Elsa Bloodstone?
I mean, she seems just average. Like, she complements the team decently, but she's not spectacular in my opinion. Like, yeah, I mean, she's kind of honestly more lackluster than I thought she was going to be.
Yeah, I guess to an extent. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on the amount of damage that she puts out. And sadly,
Actually,
I'm looking at the envoy information. We didn't get percentages or damage numbers either.
Was it on MSF? Because
we might be able to look at MSF.gg.
Yeah, I think that she was just added. Yep, she was. So I'm gonna compare that right now. Actually,
yeah. So let's see. For 45% piercing, and then bonus attack 5 times for 45% piercing. I feel like that should be 450% piercing. 45% piercing.
I don't think so. I think it's just 45% piercing.
So that's gonna really be dependent upon her damage numbers. And let's take a look at now. All this is coming from MSF.gg. It is not exact. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But at level 70 with level 5 passive and a 25% start tech. So her damage is only like 9,600 at gear tier 13. So a 45% piercing, she's only going to do 4,500 damage.
Yeah, she's like, to me, she's pretty underwhelming for that, especially considering this.
Now, however, you do get a chance to bonus attack for 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Now you have to. So the percentage amount obviously changes.
What are you looking at her on, real quick? Like, are you looking with red stars or
no red stars?
All right. What about the character level?
70.
70. Okay.
With a
no red stars character level.
Yeah, set passive 5 and 25% start tech at gear tier 13.
Okay, so it's fairly average then, as far as the damage amount for a blaster. It's fairly average.
Yeah, I mean, it's piercing, so I mean, it's going to ignore armor. It's going to hit for basically its full amount. And you do have, at max level, it is going to hit 6 times. So, I mean, she is going to do around 25,000 damage. Can piercing crit? I forget. I think it can.
Yeah, it can crit.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I feel like it's a little lackluster.
It's pretty like, man, like, no, it's okay. Like, that's how I have to say. It's just it's fairly okay. Yeah,
it's okay.
Like, I mean, there's lots of other characters like I'm just gonna pull up Killmonger real quick. So Killmonger, his basic, for instance, so he has about 9k damage for, let me make sure, for no red stars. He has about 9k damage, so the same setup for gear and everything like that. And then his basic does 330% damage, plus 30% drain, plus extra bonuses if he crits and stuff like that. So overall, right there, you're still doing more damage with Killmonger.
Well, yeah, 300%. I mean, just 300% of 9,000 damage is 27,000.
Right, exactly. So, you're already doing more. Plus, he has more stuff stacked on. Now, I know not every blaster is made the same, but I mean, I'm just looking for like kind of some general comparison. So I think that she's very average.
Right.
I think bottom line is she's average. She'll do a lot better when she crits, and she'll be a bit better when she's with Ghost Rider specifically, but the Supernatural team. So yeah, it's just I would say she's the most average person on the team.
Now, so the other thing to think about though with her is unfortunately, it's not the piercing damage, but like with her passive, on miss or on ally miss, if she has 3 or more supernatural allies, she will attack that target for 270% damage.
Yeah, but on miss or on ally miss, I don't know.
Well, and then on enemy dodge, she'll also attack for 270% damage.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to see it. Like, maybe it's just a lack of foresight on my end, but I still think that even whenever I'm playing her, like, I'm just imagining her with all of these in gameplay, and I really don't think that she's gonna be anything other than, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I think that would be my response to her.
She's on the team.
I would be.
She's required to be on the team.
I would be more willing. Honestly, I think it would be a lot more fun to play that team comp with Graviton instead. Granted, I wouldn't want to pull him out of my aim team, so this is purely a hypothetical. But that team would do fantastically with Graviton if you took out Bloodstone instead. It won't be killing us quickly because it doesn't have like super hard damage attached to it. Because you're taking out the blaster, but it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. Like, you're going to destroy them.
You could probably also put Carnage on that team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you wanted to go straight damage instead, yeah, he could really do some work on that team. So
now, one thing to consider with Elsa, right, is that she does gain offense up turn 1.
She does.
Yeah, so that 45% piercing damage, it's not going to double, but it will go up to 70%.
Yeah, I mean, she gets more, so if she's running with the rest of her team, so she would get, 4 more, so 25, so then she'd be at 100, extra 100, so 350% damage to, even that isn't...
The scatterguns gains offense up for 2 turns.
No, I know that.
Right.
I'm just talking about the percentage damage it's going to be dealing out.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking about the fact that her... Team. Not the ultimate damage, but I'm thinking about the fact that because she'll have that offense up for 2 turns, you'll be able to use it on the Bloody Good Guns on her basic for at least 1 turn.
Yeah, no, that's true. But also, I'm wondering, so A, is the offense up applied before or after the ability?
I would say that it comes first because it's listed first.
I'm assuming it comes first, but I'm not 100% sure. So I do want to make sure of that. But even then, so if you're running with a full team comp of Supernaturals, then you're going to be looking at 300% damage plus with the offense up. So then it's going to be 600% damage.
No, it's 50%.
No, it's 50%.
It's 50%. So it'd be like 450.
It'd be about 450. So even that isn't
somewhere
amazing.
450, 425, or 450, 500, somewhere around there. But then her Bloody Good Guns goes up to roughly 70%. Close, 60, 67.5, somewhere around there. Piercing damage. So instead of doing 9,000, instead of doing 4,500, she'll do closer to 6,000, maybe. So she'll be hitting closer to 30 to 35,000 on her basic. Yeah, that's not bad, but if it's only going to happen once, it's not amazing. But it's a basic, right? Basic shouldn't be amazing.
But even her ultimate damage, with that applied, is not for what it does, it's not crazy. Given her damage and that it only applies to. If it was a full enemy team, then yeah, that'd be something. But other than that, it's just okay, and that's also assuming that you still have all supernatural allies too for the damage on that one.
Yeah,
that we're maxing the damage, and then her special, you get 2 out of 5. Not great.
So so her special is you might as well just say Deadpool. Just ignores taunt and stealth.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Deadpool ignores taunt, but he doesn't ignore stealth. So
yeah, but the basic concept of it is.
But the basic concept is it's.
But you also
Deadpool.
But you also do get a primary target out of it too.
Yeah, so. I wonder if you attack a primary target and then they become the most injured target. Are you going to attack that target twice?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, that's interesting. Could create some interesting setups, especially if they're on defense and you play the AI with them. Yeah, so I think we're kind of in agreement here that overall she's okay. She feels a little lackluster.
Yeah.
So she is going to be the last of the Supernaturals. So the others are Ghost Rider, Mordo, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch. So Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo, and Scarlet Witch all got slight tweaks to their kits. So Doctor Strange's ultimate, Book of Vishanti, now revives a supernatural ally, or also revives a supernatural ally. And his passive, Master of the Arcane Arts, if this character has 3 or more supernatural allies, heal and gain deflect when an enemy gains a positive effect. That's pretty cool. Baron Mordo's passive, Too Many Sorcerers. He now also heals the most injured supernatural ally on any character death. And then on death of a mystic, now also heal the most injured supernatural ally and grant ability energy to self and that ally. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice. Both of those updates are really nice
for him.
Really nice.
Very nice changes.
And then Scarlet Witch, her ultimate Chaos Wave. If this character has 4 or more supernatural allies, she applies defense down to all enemies. So yeah, okay. Okay. That one's
still
not. I mean,
better.
defense down is nice, but you have to have you have to have everybody there. So you can't, if you don't have Elsa and Ghost Rider, you're not doing it.
Yeah, honestly, the whole supernatural team is very interesting, and it's different, and it's very cool. It's very similar to AIM. I gotta be honest, like it's not like crazy different, but as in they all work off of like heavily debuffing people. But it's unique in the way that it doesn't really have a set tank. So, like your biggest tank is going to be whatchamacallit? What's his face? Why am I blanking on this?
Mordo?
No. Motorcycle guy, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider is Ghost Rider a protector?
No, he's not. But he's going to be the tankiest person on that team.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of feel like Mordo with his heals makes him kind of tanky, but.
I mean, well, I'm talking about as far as like HP tank, like raw HP. But
right.
Regardless, there's no taunter on the team, so it's an interesting team. It's off of constantly healing and constantly debuffing. So that's kind of cool in essence of itself. But yeah, it's with Elsa, she's the weak link to me. Everything else makes sense, like the puzzle pieces match up. For Elsa, I'm like, okay, so she's there to just deal some damage. All right.
Yeah.
If they would have had her dealing more damage, kind of like what Graviton does on one of his abilities, like dealing more damage based on how many debuffs there are, that would make a lot more sense to me on this team. I think that's actually almost a missed opportunity. That could have made them very OP, though. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just sorry, that's
okay, she's there.
we spent a long time just basically saying she's okay.
Yeah, she's all right. Next, the blog goes into talking about the Bloodstone files. To recruit Elsa Bloodstone, you must join her on her campaign event, the Bloodstone Files. Team up with Elsa as she goes on a secret mission to track down a missing Strike double agent. For this event campaign, you'll need a squad of characters with the limited time Trick or Treat trait. Each campaign node rewards Hunter Squad Orb fragments, and the Hunter Squad Orb contains select characters with the Trick or Treat trait, including Elsa at a higher drop rate. That cough was intentional, because I don't think I have yet to see a Ghost Rider out of the higher drop rate Ghost Rider Orb.
I have, but they're
stupid system.
Far and few between.
Stupid system. These systems ever since Rhino, man, or not Rhino, War Machine. It's just stupid, so stupid. And I've seen nothing but complaints about it, but they don't care.
Yeah, I do miss the olden days where it was guaranteed drop.
Yeah. So supernatural, Trick or Treat characters. Are you going to have enough to power your way through this campaign?
I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, Rocket and Daredevil are on that list. I could probably solo it with those two, unless they make it super difficult.
Even then, I think that they're up for the challenge. I think one of my few 5 stars is on Daredevil, actually. So,
now I'm super jealous of that. I am super jealous of that.
Yeah.
Both Daredevil. I had Daredevil at 0 red stars for the longest time. It made me want to cry because you know how much I loved my Defenders.
Yeah.
But Rocket and Daredevil both are 4 red stars. So
Your Rocket hurts, I bet.
oh yeah, he crits for like 70,000-80,000.
I pity the enemies of whoever in this game has a 7-star Rocket.
Right. Actually, I take on those in Arena, and I take those on in Arena
Yeah?
happily. Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. I just figure he's like a lawnmower and just
He
mows
will
everything down.
But he gets rid of Phoenix, and then she just kind of wipes out the board.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm just like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's squishy. He's really squishy. But
Yeah, he is.
yeah, mine's a level 71 T13. He's sitting at 63k power right now.
Yeah.
He is, I want to say, the second strongest character on my team. Or on my roster. No, he is not. He is... yeah, he's like the fourth most powerful. Fifth.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sixth. So, anyway, sorry, distracted. Let's move on now to the Highway to Halloween Gold event. So, it's time to enter the Gold Crypt. This week, the Highway to Halloween is paid with gold. Earn 66.6 more gold from campaigns during this 24-hour event. Stock up and raise your roster from the dead. Because, yeah, 66.6%. So, yeah, you'll get another 66 gold per 1,000. Yay. Or 66 gold per 100. So,
yeah.
Some nodes you'll get an extra, 600 gold. It's okay.
Yeah, it's sort of, I mean, it's good. Like, I'm glad that I'm getting more gold. I can't complain too much about that. You give me more gold.
So the Blitz lineup, rumbling into Blitz this week is the Explosive Protector Crossbones and the Time-Traveling Mutant Cable. Line up your favorite Blitz teams and manage your Blitz charges to maximize your character shard rewards. I did skip a section in the dev blog. If you're following along, there's a reason because I want to talk about it, and we'll get back to that in a minute. I thought they had said Hela was coming in Blitz next week. Or is she coming the week after?
I think she comes the week after.
Okay. It would have been cool for Hela to be the Blitz character on Halloween. But, you know, I guess if they want to do it the week after, that's fine. And then finally we have, not finally, but next we have Payday. So calling all soldiers of fortune this week. The Payday Flash event returns. Rack up piles of gold with your top mercenary team. Can you do that 7-star yet?
That's 7-star?
Yeah.
For Payday? No.
6.
Yes, I can do 6. I'm very close to being able to do 7.
Actually, I should be able to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4,
then
5. I will. I will do 7. I forgot that. Oh, hey, we'll rank up Killmonger real quick while we're sitting here. He's not 6-star. One of the only 2 good Wakandans. Yeah, I've got Merc Soldier, Merc Riot Guard, Bullseye, Korath the Pursuer, and Deadpool all at 7-star.
Yeah.
And all of those guys, well, no, Deadpool's only 3 red star. Sad. But Merc Soldier and Merc Riot Guard are both 5. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, you'll stomp it.
So, yeah. So one of the things is, because this just happened to me, one of the things I love about this most recent update is the portrait roster view. That's fantastic. I love that thing.
Yeah.
I love that. So very happy they included that. So thank you, Fox Next, for that one. So Hebrew, I saved this section of the blog post for last because it's the one I wanted to talk about probably the most. So it's called Day of the Dead Milestones. And speaking of the deceased, clawing at the heels of the Highway to Halloween is a celebrated spirits milestones where you can earn character shards and orange and purple gear raid orbs. Coordinate with your alliance to hit milestones that reset each day for 5 days straight. This next part's very important. Score points by using specific characters in raid battles And if those characters are gear tier 11 or higher, you'll score even more points. Here's a hint at the characters to use each day. October 31st, Mutant and Mystic. November 1st, Tech and Skill. November 2nd, Tech and Bio. November 3rd, Mystic and Tech. November 4th, Mutant and Mystic.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem with this. I think this concept is great. I love what they're doing here. Here's the problem. Those character combos really, really, really stink.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Because not everybody is going to be able to do those.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's your choices. You either use these in a Greek raid that has trait-specific nodes,
Mm-hmm.
or you use them in, if you're using the Ultimate 7, you use them in a raid that's going to punch you in the face.
Right.
And look, there's no mutant and mystic character that you're running in raid 7 together.
Yeah.
To finish a node. I'm sorry. I mean, no.
I mean, not if you're min-maxing. No.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, you maybe you can run Phoenix in a node. Phoenix and, a mystic character, Ronin, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, all of this is very red star dependent, and the chances of you having a red star on the right character very small. But yeah, I mean, you're basically going to have to mess around with your team comp to be less optimal in a raid that is incredibly difficult right now. So it's not great. There's going to be basically, I think that for these 5 days you're going to see raid progress lower because people are going to be more focusing on completing these, depending on how difficult it is and how many orange and purple gear raid orbs we're talking about here. But I have a feeling that people are going to prioritize this and just using those characters over hitting hard progress as long as you hit the milestones.
Well, and here's the other problem. We have and will have the beta raid going on. No, we won't. Oh, that's a bigger kick in the teeth. So the beta raid goes away in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
No, I take that back. Let me do my math here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it should be okay. So the beta raid will be here through the Day of the Dead milestones. Those milestones, the beta raid has trait-specific nodes.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that you're going to have nodes that there are like tech skill nodes, but not everybody's going to be able to do those nodes.
Yeah.
So people are not going to be able to participate in this event.
Yeah, people might just drop down a raid like to Ult 6 for these 5 days.
Well, maybe, but so when you do that, now you're going to sacrifice season reward points and the Ultimate 7 rewards.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like it's a Sophie's choice, man.
It all depends on how much of these rewards we get. Like, is it worth it to do it? Like, it's just going to be a balancing act. Can you complete, like, given this, or do you need to even give up some raid progress in the Ult 7? And then B, if enough people can't do them, then you're going to need to bump down to Ult 6. So it's 5 days, so it's not like the worst, but I just hope that they make it worth whatever sacrifice we have to make.
Okay.
Now
okay, so I'm going to ask you to stop for a second.
Okay.
And I want you to think back to what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to think to the company that we're talking about.
Oh, I know. You're talking about if they're going to give a good amount of rewards to make it worth it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I know. They never do a good job on that.
I actually went to Cerebro and Zeke's the new community manager, and I was like, so let me get this straight. We are being asked to use extremely specific characters on a raid that either A is going to kick you in the face, 2 nodes in, and you'll never get past it, or in a trait specific where not everybody can participate.
Right.
And have you seen the movie Meet the Robinsons?
No.
Okay, it's a cartoon. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. But there's a part in the movie where the bad guy goes back in time and gets a dinosaur and puts a hat on the dinosaur to control it, and he tells it to go get the main character. And the main character hides in a corner, and the dinosaur can't get him because he's got a big head and little arms. And the dinosaur actually goes, "I've got a really big head and little arms. I don't think this plan was very well thought out."
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that sometimes is the Fox Next studio of, you've got big heads but little arms, and this plan was not very well thought out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I still, like, I approach this with optimism every single time, just, out of sheer necessity. But I hope that they will give us a good enough amount of orange and purple gear raid orb shards to make whatever sacrifice we have to make worth it. I hope that that's the case. Am I confident that that's going to be the situation? No. But I think that that's what they need to do, and that's what I hope that they do.
Yeah, this feels bad.
It doesn't feel terrible because it's only for 5 days, so I'm not like too concerned about it. Either way, I'm not missing out on too much of anything. So
if you're in a competitive raid alliance, you are.
Even if you're in competitive raid alliance, 5 days isn't the worst for giving up.
5 days. 5 days is pretty bad. That can drop you a whole rank.
Hold on, I'm saying, so compared to the net loss of what you get from 100% U6 to 30% U7. Right, the net raid loss of what you're going to get, if these make up for it, like, very well, then I'm okay with that. For only 5 days, sacrificing the difference, I'm okay with that. But even then, I think that there's a lot of people that.
But here's the thing. Here's what you're earning, right? Character shards, and let's be honest, they're going to be garbage character shards, probably trick or treat character shards, whatever. Most of those people are 7-star. For me, so, and I'm sorry, I'm talking about from my own point of view. The character shards, probably just garbage. Orange and purple gear raid orbs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're asking me to drop a raid to pick up orbs that I could have gotten in the higher level raid.
Yeah, I mean, you have it once again. It just comes down to balancing the what you get out of these orbs versus what you give up in the net loss of dropping a raid, potentially, because even then we also don't know. That's like worst case scenario, you drop a raid. I assume for the majority of people, they can sacrifice enough progress to throw in a team of these for one really early node. So we'll just have to see how it works out. Either way, we'll find out more in a little bit, but I just hope that they make whatever balancing act that we have to play worth it. That's all.
Yeah, I don't trust them, and I really think that this is just not very well thought out. That it's so poorly thought out that because the people do run the risk. Like, so what if they're able to 60% the Ultima 7 raid, but your mystic techs or your mystic mutants aren't going to get you 60% in the Ultima 7 raid. Are you willing to drop from top 100 to top 1% because you wanted character shards or orange and purple gear?
If you're making 60%, I imagine that you are strong enough to, at the beginning, throw in on a few nodes to make up for these characters a little bit. You might have to use some revives or something like that, but I imagine that you can probably do something there. I'm not too worried about it.
I don't think you're thinking it through all the way, but we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be that I'm being short-sighted on this, but yeah, I think it's just until we see what the rewards are. Like, I don't think there's too much of a point speculating on it, because that's a big ass question mark right there.
Yeah,
on what the rewards are.
I'm calling my shot now. Unorange and 2 purple.
Right.
Rim shot.
I hope you're wrong.
And the character shards will be characters of the trait you use for that day.
Yeah, it is going to be. It's certainly going to be a pool. Like it's going to. I have a feeling that it will be like a pool or something like that. For a specific orb type. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not optimistic. I really think it's a very, very bad idea. Very bad idea.
Fair enough.
Not well thought out at all. So, but you know what? I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I'm wrong.
I hope I'm right too. And
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and that my pessimism is unfounded. So, Hebrew, let's move on now as we are approaching the hour 20 mark, and let's jump into what I know is your favorite segment of the day, the grab bag.
Yep, that is my favorite.
That also will not be the sounder here. So, Hebrew, question number 1. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Is that really one of the questions?
Yes.
American or European?
It's African. It's African or European.
African or European. Oh, that's right. Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
well,
because it's back in medieval times. There is no America.
Yeah, but, all right. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. It has to be because of that. Okay. Fair enough. African or European?
I don't know.
Hey, I remember that the other one started with an A. So
it's fair.
But I know the answer to this, though.
And an N.
I know the answer to this, though. It's about 24 miles per hour.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your...
What is your favorite animal that doesn't have hands?
Penguins.
Good call.
Penguins are my favorite animal, period. So, yeah. Penguins.
Man, I don't... What is my favorite animal that doesn't have hands? Oh, it's got to be a dog. I love my dogs.
Dogs are awesome.
Dogs are fantastic. Salt or sugar?
I gotta go with sugar. I never put salt on anything.
Oh, man. I got to go salt. I put salt on everything, even salt on sugar.
All right. Well, that's weird. But
let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
So, fruit. If you eat watermelon or a cantaloupe, that's a fructose sugar. That's why I said that. If you sprinkle some salt on there, the bitter counteracts the sweet, and it creates just awesome bite. So if you ever eat honeydew, cantaloupe, watermelon, sprinkle some salt on it, and try that one time, and tell me what you think.
All right. Well, cantaloupe is my favorite fruit of all time, so I will give that a shot. But I want you to know that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
That's fine.
I do know that there is obviously like some synergy between salt and sugar, like because you see that all the time, like salty sweet. But yeah, I can't imagine putting salt. That feels wrong to me, putting salt on fruit like that. But I will give it a shot just to see like what's up with it. But yeah,
and not a lot. I mean, we're not talking a lot of salt. We're just talking a pinch,
just a dabble. Right,
yeah,
right.
just a dabble.
I will say though, it's weird. It seems like every older person I meet, like whenever we're eating, they always just grab that salt. They're like, "Hey, can you pass the salt?" And then they just start dumping salt on. I have never met anyone my age that does that. Never. Because
all of us old people that do that, because I'm one of those that does that, we're all dying of heart attacks.
That's why I was like, I've just never met anyone that does it. That's my age. So yeah, it really is. But it's so true. Like every older person that I meet. You're not old.
Yeah.
But every older person that I meet, it really is like that. It's this generational thing. It seems like. But yeah.
Hey, real quick question. Can you jump in? Has anybody been talking in the studio audience? I've not seen any updates forever. So.
I don't see. Yeah, I mean, like we're talking, but yeah, I don't see anything there right now.
Yeah, it's been almost 45 minutes. Wow.
That is odd.
That is really odd. Really, really odd. So,
yeah.
Especially when we do the grab back, because usually people are throwing in their stuff there. So
Yeah. Oh, no, Assassin just messaged. So.
oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Hello there. There it is. All right. Hey, how important is it for Alliance members to do their job for raids, etc.? And how do you guys feel if and when you get pinged by Alliance leaders for getting things done? So, Heber, you have much more experience than me. So,
did Evan? Oh, don't kid yourself. You have some experience in this department too.
Recently, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Evan put this up.
Maybe I may have gotten into some fights recently. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, this is a tricky question, honestly, because I totally get it. Like, if you're in an alliance that is a hardcore, or just like an alliance that is competitive, like not even like crazy hardcore, but you need everyone. Like, bottom line is you just need everyone. Like, you have to, if you can have some people kind of cover you sometimes, but it's not always a guarantee, and it's not always really possible. So I would say that I understand why people get upset whenever someone doesn't do their job, because you not doing your job affects everyone else's outcome, which isn't fair. But at the same time, this game's so demanding on time that I understand why people can't always do it. So I would suggest, unless you can, I think that anger is justifiable in that department, and I think that if you are one of the people that are getting pinged often enough to hop in and do your stuff, I think that that person needs to potentially move to a different guild for the sake of everyone else.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that that's exactly fair.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I think it's just everyone's justified. It's what can you do to rectify the situation? Because I went through this with Evan too, and my previous alliance also. One thing that is very annoying that I'm sure people have done, like, because this happened in my original alliance for a long time, because we were top 25. But we ended up, like, I missed one time, and everyone freaked out on me. And I'm like, okay, guys, one time is not a big deal. But yeah, then I ended up leaving, that's that. And then I went and joined up with your guys' alliance at the time, and then I was getting pinged from Evan constantly. And I totally understand it. Running an alliance is difficult, but it's just you gotta decide if you want to leave or not, or if it's too hardcore for you, or if it's not casual enough, whatever.
Are you done?
Yes. Sorry, that's my 20-minute explanation for a very simple question.
Personally, I do think it's important. But I also understand, life happens.
Yeah.
Especially in this raid structure, because it's horrible. It is very demanding because, this whole energy refresh thing. If you're not on at certain times, you may not finish the number of nodes you need to do, and other people have to pick up the slack. And there are times that I've not been able to finish because I work and I have a family. Right, I need to be able. Mm-hmm. I want to play a game, but I want to be able to play it when I can play it, not have to play it. Blitz war,
right?
Not have to play it because it requires it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you do have a responsibility to your other alliance mates, and if you're in an alliance that has certain expectations, really good example. Our alliance, the Shattered Order Unlimited, used to not have requirements for alliance war, but we've started to get a little bit more aggressive in war. So now we have requirements of you need to have 8 attacks and you have to have 2 boosts. Right, that's kind of the requirements for our alliance, and I don't boost. I didn't boost. I was saving my tickets. I think boosting is a horrible metric and a horrible mechanic, and I on a matter of principle, I didn't want to participate in perpetrating that crap. But it's a requirement for my alliance, so I have to do it, or I can choose to go somewhere else. So if your alliance has set expectations, then it's your responsibility to fulfill them.
Right.
How do I feel about getting it? I think it depends on who's doing it and how they're doing it. There are some people in my alliance that say junk, and I just want to throw my phone against the wall. And Evan gets an earful.
Yeah. Poor guy.
He's probably like, man, why did I ever send him that microphone? This is such a mistake.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next question. With yellow stars gating Enter the Darkness and gear level gating Fear the Darkness, do you think red stars could gate the new darkness? And if they were to do that, in your opinion, what red star level would you believe to be, quote unquote, reasonable? Absolutely, I think they could gate it behind red stars because why not? And I think 4 red stars is probably going to be the minimum if they do something like that.
All I gotta say is they better not do it. It better just go off of level and tier, because that's so unfair otherwise. So I would say don't. And plus, that's a very slippery slope that I don't want to see them mess with.
Yeah.
Because we know that every single slippery slope that they've ever done leads to them doing more of it.
And I'm not gonna lie. If they decide to go that route where it's a complete RNG whether or not you have characters to take into a game mode that's so difficult that unless you have specific characters, that could very well just be the final straw.
Yeah.
I'll still do the podcast. I mean, look, we're podcasting for the next year, so I'll still do the podcast. But my game knowledge is probably going to lag really far behind. Because that would just be a slap in the face to everybody.
Yeah, it would not be good.
Let's see. If you were to add another supernatural character to the game, who would it be?
I'll save yours for you because I know that you want to say it, but I feel like you have more of a right to say it than me. So.
Huh. Okay.
Does Dormammu count?
Sure. Dormammu is super. He's a demon from another realm. Sure, why not?
Okay, yeah, I picked that one.
Yeah. Now, who do you think I'm going to say?
Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I know this because it's your guy. Like, I recently started learning a little bit more about him, so I didn't want to take that one away from you.
I feel like we could now go on the honeymoon game.
Hey, we could. It's shocking how well we do at that.
Shouldn't Ultimate 7 be super hard? I don't want new content that I'm going to beat in a week and then just auto to 100 like U6. The rewards should be better, agreed, but isn't this the challenge we've been waiting for? It needs some tweaks for sure. 5-minute timer is too short, but I wanted and appreciate the challenge. My alliance is working hard to get to 30 every time. Now we are trying to learn how to get better for 60. That's why I play the game. Not a question. Well, I guess the question is, shouldn't the Ultimate 7 be super hard? And I think we kind of answered that. I think we agree that it should be super hard, but it should be reasonably super hard within the current game system. It should make sense.
And shouldn't at any point require red stars until red stars are reliably farmable.
Yeah.
Because if you've looked at the end of that raid, you're going to need some red stars.
Oh, yeah. Red stars and or ISO 8, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a whole nother beast that could play into this and make it easier, could make it worse. I don't know yet.
Let's see. What are the best counters to the top War Alliance defenses?
You take this one because you care about more than me.
Considering I don't care about war at all, that tells us exactly what you think about war. I mean, power armor is always a great counter to a top defense.
If you got Agent Coulson,
well, he's on the defense.
Yeah. You said against defense.
Yeah, against. What are the best counters defense to the top war defense?
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, hybrid teams are always really strong. Like the Fury, Phoenix, Ultron. If you didn't put Ultron on defense for some reason, X-Men could be a counter to some of the top Alliance defenses. I really just I don't know.
This is an intricate question.
It is an intricate question, and you have to ask,
X-Men for Coulson is good.
Fantastic Four Don't use power armor in security buffed rooms. I don't want to hear it. Fantastic Four is pretty strong. People are putting aim on defense, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that they're better for offense, but yeah,
I do think aim is much better for offense.
Yeah, but Fantastic Four is good against aim, as Assassin pointed out. That's true.
Yes, I agree. So thanks, Assassin, for helping with those. Let's see. That's friend of the podcast, Assassin, our math whiz. Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
When will the whaling be stopped?
It never ends. Let me just put it to you like that.
No,
a little Watchman quote for you. It never ends. It will not stop.
It will when the servers shut down.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Also, hey Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. Don't.
How you doing?
I knew it.
Yeah, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it like the way you hate.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I heard "Hey Hebrew," I was like, "It's coming."
Yeah, but this time I went Joey from Friends, which is a little uncomfortable, actually, to be honest. But let's see. What is your current war defense?
My current war defense?
Yes, or I'm sorry, arena defense.
Oh, my arena defense. Didn't we actually just do this question not too long ago?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But just real quick. You don't know it off the top of your head?
No, I don't remember because I recently switched it up a little bit.
Oh, this would be interesting.
Gotta log in my game. What are you running on yours? Do you know off the top of your head?
Ultron Phoenix, Magneto, Pyro, and Juggernaut.
Oh, that's right. We have instead of Juggernaut, I have Colossus on mine.
And I apologize.
We have the same.
It's not Pyro, it's Vision.
Okay.
Of course, I'm in the 200s. I dropped 100 spots today.
Oh god! Wow, that's a big drop. Jeez.
I hate Arena. It's just so stupid.
But yeah, I have a Colossus instead of where you have Juggernaut.
Yeah, and which is a good call. I mean, Colossus is great, but mine's 2-star.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my Juggernaut's 7. So
fair enough.
I'm waiting for Colossus and Psylocke to become farmable at some point this century. I would hope. Let's see. Hebrew, do you think Mr. Sinister will be a very good character even after the limitations of his clone ability were data mined? So it was data mined that it will not be a direct copy, just a Southern Yellow Star tuned to Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I think he's still going to be good. I don't think he's going to be as crazy as we thought he was going to be. But yeah, I still think his kit is very good. And he's definitely going to be able to do some work. It's just not crazy powerful like we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Who do you think deserves the next rework?
The next rework? I mean, Hydra needs it because hopefully that would bring Red Skull with him. But I would really like to see the Avengers get reworked to be something very good.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's some versions of it, like variants of it right now that are like okay-ish, but yeah, it's nothing great, not even close compared to a lot of the other big meta stuff.
Right. I would agree with you. I think the Avengers are a really good call there. I do think Hydra needs a rework. I'd like to see Han get a rework. As well, especially now that I pulled a 5 Red Star Handblade Master.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any tips on what we can do to prepare for ISO 8, save resources, save more gold, etc.? I cannot speak to this in any way, shape, or form. Hebrew, do you have any suggestions for anybody?
Honestly, I don't know what we're going to need for it, so I am saving all of my resources. I'm saving all my resources because I'm waiting for that raid team to come, inevitably. But I'm also doing it now because of the ISO 8s. I don't know what we're going to need for it. So I've heard whispers, but until I know for sure, I'm holding on to everything. So I don't know if there is a great way to prepare for anything specific. Just hold everything.
Right, and then hold everything and never progress or do anything. That's the downside of that.
That is absolutely a downside to it, but it'll pay off big if it pans out correctly.
Let's see. Should focus be made on my Power Armor team, Wakanda, or X-Men? All teams are 160k and good star levels, except X-Men, who has 3 yellows, 3 red stars.
Out of all of those, I'd say X-Men is... Well, Power Armor is very good, though.
Power Armor is not very good.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Wakanda's the no on that list.
Yeah, Wakanda's the one you don't waste your resources on.
I would lean X-Men, because we're going to see more people come into X-Men that we already know about right now, and it's going to share a lot of the characters that you currently have. So I don't know. I would lean more towards X-Men. I think that, especially since we think that might even be part of the upcoming raid team, if Beast turns out to be the healer. So I would lean X-Men.
Yeah, I would do X-Men first, followed by the Power Armor.
Yeah.
They're really going to be highly critical, especially for war.
Yeah.
Don't you think that if the rewards for U7 were better, it would only increase the divide between the whales and the rest of us and cause future content to feel even more overtuned? We've got to stop thinking of it's us versus the whales, because whales are always going to be better than us. They're always going to be quote unquote have that advantage, because that's what they're paying for. And I don't think anybody that plays these games should ever expect to be able to compete with the whales. If you could compete with the whales, then the whales aren't really going to want to play the game, because they're just, they're not getting any value out of their money.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I see these questions and I'm just like, no, whales. I hate Minerva. Whales should always be able to get ahead. And if you expect free to play or Dolphins to keep up with whales, then I would reevaluate what your ideas are about how these games should flow.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's just one of those things where there is already such a big degree of randomness in this game that there's already a way for people that are technically free to play that can surpass some whales. It's very rare, very rare. And you have to be incredibly lucky. But that already exists here, and there's a lot of other games where that, I'd say most other games don't. Or that element isn't as much of an advantage as it is here, I should say, for free-to-play people. So, but yeah, in general, with the exception of those, in general, they're on a different level. There's nothing that you should ever do to stop them, and honestly, they pay for it. They should probably be top spot.
Yep. I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, they should be there. They need to be there, and so, yeah. Let's see. With Vision fitting so well as the 5th member of the Power Armor team, what would a new Power Armor character have to bring to the team to challenge Vision's spot? Also, since he doesn't use Vision, who does he have on that team?
So whenever it comes to who do I think can take his spot in the future, I don't know. That's a tough call, because he is so good and he brings so much to that team that it's crazy. So I'm trying to think of some kind of, basically you just have to have someone that had, because one of the biggest things that he brings is the defense up on start, the 2-turn defense up on start.
Right.
That's huge.
That is very huge.
So they'd have to have someone that did something like that. Which would be, until they do something like that, I'm not so sure.
So who do you run as the 5th in your Power Armor?
So right now, I run Ant-Man in my power armor as a thing. but because of that, my power armor is not nearly as good as, as
No,
anyone
and
else.
and look, I'm someone who loves Ant-Man.
Mhm.
My Ant-Man is 5 red star, 50k power.
Mhm.
I try to find uses for him all over the place. I still say he's one of the most underrated characters in the game.
Mhm.
Because he does things so well, but they're not spectacular. But he does everything
Right.
he does well. But yeah, on a power armor team, oof.
It's just one of those things where like literally all of my other characters that would be decent there are plugged into other teams where they're much better.
Right.
So the only one that's Ant-Man seemed to get the best results on that team with it. So yeah, Ant-Man for me. But trust me, I know he's a shitty comparison to Vision.
Oh, you're coming around on Vision. That's awesome.
Mm-mm. 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 I've always admitted he's good. He's incredibly good in the game. He's just a trash character in the movies, and I won't play it because of it. So yeah.
Let's see. I don't like this version of it, so I'll read you the version that's in the questions, and then I'll give you my version.
Okay.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck Norris?
Very cool. I like your version too. The answer is that the woodchuck would chuck a shit ton of wood.
Okay. As long
There
as
you go.
we're in agreement.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's a lot of wood.
That's a lot of wood.
And it couldn't chuck Norris because no one can chuck Norris.
No one can chuck Norris. Let's see. This is Pope. My source says they are 90% certain Gambit will be the 5th Marauder. Yeah, we said that last week. I think we both are almost 100% certain it's going to be Gambit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So
it's
I'm gonna meta here for a second.
yeah.
So Marvel actually just released a brand new comic book called Marauders.
Mm.
And if I remember correctly, Kitty Pryde's in there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Let's see. And it's going to be a show, a cartoon.
But she wasn't a founding, or an OG, a founding member, though, right?
Well, but they've done things in the past where they haven't taken, founding members and put them in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to read here from comicbook.com, and this is just from 3 days ago. Marvel Comics has released the launch trailer for Marauders, the next X-Men spin-off series debuting as part of the Dawn of X initiative. You can watch the trailer above. I'll put a link into the chat. In the trailer, editor Jordan White talks about the importance of Marauders. Marauders is probably the most important book of the Dawn of X books as far as the furthering the world of the X-Men and the status quo of the X-Men. Emma Frost is in charge of the Hellfire Club, and they are in charge of distributing the mutant medicines throughout the world. It's a totally new concept in the X-Men universe. I mean, there have been stories about pirates, but there's never been a book about pirates before, and these are classic big-name X-Men. The plans we have for this book are so big. Marvel editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski, sorry if I murdered that one, adds Kitty Pryde, or Kate as we now know her, Emma Frost, Iceman, Storm, but teaming up with Sebastian Shaw and Pyro. How crazy is that? Where is Jerry Dugan taking this? And they're on a pirate ship. So I don't know if the Marauders is going to be. I just saw this like on my Google feed the other day. So I don't know if this is going to be like the Marauders group, or if it's just more of like Marauders as in pirates.
Right.
So, like apparently, there's that said, that's not the only skill they bring. This Kitty Pryde takedown scene is worth the price of admission alone. One of my most anticipated X books, and so far it's not lived up to those expectations, it surpassed them. So, I don't know. I don't know if this has anything. Because this actually has, led by Captain Kate Pride and funded by Emma Frost and the Hellfire Trading Company, Marauders Storm, Pyro, Bishop, and Iceman sail the seas of the world, protect those hated and feared. So that sounds more like it's going to be more about, like, not the group Marauders, but a band of Marauders. Does that make sense? That can be kind of confusing.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So
we are. I think that it is going to be Gambit. I'm pretty sure as well. We all are. So, yeah, I really hope that that's the case.
Yeah. So I put the link in the studio audience chat for anybody that wants to see the trailer or read the article as well.
I do really like the fact that they're already, a super dominant, Blitz, Arena, War team, and I hope that we can. I'm not sure what the big place is going to be for the Marauders, but assuming that we have Gambit in there and he can be pieced out into X-Men as well later on, especially with Beast coming and Cyclops. It'll be interesting to see how you can piece together X-Men to be like a good squad in every department by shifting around a few X-Men characters.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want another strong raid team. My BKT and Shield are almost 300,000. Would it be a mistake to start investing Wakandas for raids? Yes. I'm afraid because everyone makes fun of them. You should be. Everyone makes fun of them because they deserve to be made fun of. They were touted as being the best raid team.
Yeah.
And no. Hebrew, do you agree or disagree with that statement?
Oh, I think it's better to once again hold on because I think we're going to see that new raid team. Hopefully, it'll be X-Men.
Yeah, without Phoenix, that's the problem, though. You're losing your strongest X-Men. And if you take Phoenix out of that team, we've already seen Cyclops' kit. He loses a lot if you take Phoenix out of there. So they're your two biggest damage dealers. So anybody that comes in is going to have to replace that. Now, you could throw in Iceman for some blaster damage and Beast for some sustain, and then run Storm and Psylocke, maybe?
Well, the thing is that it regardless of what we have to do, even if it's just from a marketing perspective, we haven't had a raid team in so long. We're now faced with a huge raid challenge. Everyone is talking about the difficulty of. What's going to make them money is putting in a new raid team that will do very well in this raid.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how they're going to piece it together. The point is that it's going to be good, whatever it is. I'm very confident in saying that. So that's the most important thing. I just have a feeling that it's going to relate to the X-Men somehow. So, yeah, I think that's we are inevitably going to be getting a very good raid team for Ult 7.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I think they're expecting other things to complement that. So
maybe.
Let's see. We're just going to take a few more here. So when you asked what game mode Supernatural would be good for, you forgot campaigns. Before I read the rest of the question, I did not. I left campaigns off intentionally because you can 100% the campaigns with the current set of characters.
Campaign?
Yeah.
We have a campaign mode in this game?
Right? So newer and mid-game players are struggling to finish Mystic campaign. I am hopeful Supernatural will make it easier. I know this is a comment, not a question, but very important to consider, and I'd love your feedback more broadly on new teams as catch-up mechanics. So for me, I don't feel that campaign is a quote-unquote catch-up mechanic. I think those are meant to be a roster progression system. Now, obviously, as we add more and more characters, they should get easier. But I don't believe that Supernatural was brought in specifically for the Mystic campaign or anything like that. Look, you can 3-star the Mystic campaign without the quote unquote Supernatural team. Now, I'm not going to lie, at least 2 of the 3 characters I needed to 2 of the 3 rework characters I needed to complete the Mystic campaign, but it's entirely doable to 3-star Mystic 3-9 with what was in the roster 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's a catch-up mechanic. I think it's just another team. I will probably never include campaigns in the survey unless Hebrew wants them in the survey. Simply because until we get new campaigns, they are what they are. And they can be done with everybody in your current roster. So I think the biggest thing is that newer players, or even quote-unquote mid-game players, they have more choices than what we had when we went through the campaign as either beta or global launch players. So they have more options to focus their teams on, but that doesn't necessarily make them the best options.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that.
I'm going to skip the ISO 8 question here. Actually, for Hebrew specifically, as Dorian can't comment. How do you think ISO 8 will be implemented? By the way, the question actually says as Dorian can't comment, so thank you, questioner. How do you think ISO 8 will be implemented? Flat stats, a percentage, or both? Do you think we'll be able to move them around like Galaxy of Heroes or be fixed to a character? Or do you think they will require gold in some way?
So I think that it's going to be percentage-based, just because that seems to be their thing that they love to do. So the big question on that is it going to be, before or after red stars are included? So that's important. And I think that hopefully they work that out and work that properly. I think, I at least hope you're going to be able to move them around from character to character, especially since that will actually give us some control on boosting stats for the raid, which you're just going to need for the upper end for the most part. If you don't have red stars, you're going to need something to help you out. So I would hope that they would allow that, but I'm not sure if there will be some kind of fee for it or penalty, like gold or cooldowns or whatever it'll be. But I don't know. That's my guess. I think that I also bet that it will be too much. Like it'll affect characters too much, and I'm not sure how they're going to implement it as far as how do you actually get them. That is a big question mark for me that I really have no idea what they might do. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Awesome. Hebrew, if you had to choose between gearing up Ultron and gearing up Coulson, who would you choose?
Ultron.
Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. There's no comparison.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, Coulson is great. He's the greatest player your greatest character you'll never play, right? But Ultron is not only one of the greatest characters you'll never play, but he's one of the greatest characters you will play.
Yeah, and he's not mode specific either.
Right. So, I mean, Ultron in a heartbeat should be, if you have Ultron, he should be your top priority.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, Hebrew.
Yeah.
No. That's the comment. No.
All right.
Let's see. Boy, we get into some negative ones here, which I kind of feel bad for, but I want to give them some due time. It seems like with level 75, G14, an onslaught of characters, I'm so far behind. Are you guys considering quitting because it's too much stuff to do? I actually have to work, Fox Next. I'm not. I mean, look, I understand your frustration. It's one of the reasons why I quit Galaxy of Heroes. I'm not at that breaking point for Strike Force. Now, there are some things they could do that could push me over the edge, but I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm. For me, like I will not lie at all. I have thought about quitting the game several times after certain implementations that this game has done, and the amount of characters that they throw out as those specifically, that doesn't worry me too much. I think it's very much I mean, I do think that they do it way too fast, but I think they do that on purpose. That way you can't get all of them, or the only way that you can get all of them, they basically exploit the collector like drive that's in all of us that play these games, is just to spend money on it, to get all of them. So They make otherwise you have to really pick and choose. So yeah, I think it's just kind of like in order to keep your own sanity and keep playing the game and enjoying it, I think you do have to just kind of accept that you're not going to get all the characters, and you have to really pick and choose by mode, basically, like who you want to go for.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Next question is, why are you still playing? Honest question. I think the end is near for me. I'm still playing because I love the game. I know I complain about the modes of the game, but the game itself, the characters, the mechanics, the interactions, the animations, there are things about the game I absolutely love and I'm very passionate about. And honestly, the community and the podcast are a big part of that as well. So for me, that's the main reasons why I'm still playing.
I mirror all those sentiments right there, 100%.
Will you rewatch the X-Men animated series when Disney Plus releases?
Yes.
100%. If mods ruin MSF, will you quit to play Dragon Champions full time?
I don't play Dragon Champions, so no for me, but for you, maybe.
Well, no. I mean, would you quit MSF to play Dragon Champions full time? Like, would you put down MSF and pick up Dragon Champions?
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's completely fair. I already play Dragon Champions full time, so. What do you think of using special origins in raids as milestones when Alt 7 is so hard new? Is it easy to use odd teams? And we talked about that already quite extensively. Here's a good one. I'll answer this one. Why do you spend so much of your podcast on these things, talking about the survey? I kind of hate them and skip 30 minutes of every podcast to avoid hearing you read them. Well, I mean, if you hate them so much, why are you taking them? Number one. Number two, I hate to tell you that you're in a really small minority, because I get a lot of feedback that people love the surveys. They love the grab bag. So, and they love the discussion that the surveys generate. So, I mean, if you want to skip them, that's up to you. I mean, it's your time to do it as you will. But you're missing some content as well, because we do segue and branch off and go down rabbit holes that aren't specifically to the survey. So, hopefully you don't skip grab bag, so you understand better why. Let's see. Who would win in a thumb war?
Maybe me, because I would cheat. I'd do the Chinese finger trap.
Oh,
I'd snag you.
Oh, yeah, but see, I would just call in reinforcements from outside the ring.
Yeah, I have no idea. Whenever, if ever we meet, like, we're gonna have to do a thumb war now to decide this.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Any idea on when some of the newer tunes are going to be farmable? My roster has a lot of good characters sitting in the bottom due to 2 to 3 stars. Oopa! It's Fox next. Who knows?
Yeah. It's been so varied on that I can't confidently give any answer. It seems to be, after at least a couple of months, they might come.
Yeah, that actually is a question I think I kind of skipped higher up, saying, what is Fox Next's fascination with keeping characters unfarmable for months and not even releasing a permanent offer for them? And honestly, I think it's because, people wail out to get the characters because we don't know when or if they will ever release. And it is an opportunity for people that have spent money to get the characters at higher star levels to enjoy those characters and kind of, it's that whale mentality, right?
Right.
And at the same time, it gives them an opportunity to kind of suss out where that character sits in the meta. Because I'm not going to lie, I don't think Fox Next knows where their own characters are going to sit in the meta, or where they're going to really shine, because there are a lot of interactions that go on. Because I think when Minerva first released, we were like, man, she's going to be okay. And then we were like, holy crap. And I was specifically with Power Armor, we were like, man, Falcon and Rescue, these guys look like they're crap. And then it was like, they made a change to Rescue's kit, changing the energy requirements for her. And then suddenly it was like, oh my God. this
Oh yeah,
this team rocks. So
I remember that. Yeah.
There's a lot of things where or we think that characters are going to be absolutely fantastic. See Mr. Sinister, who when they come out maybe whatever, and we'll probably see them relatively quickly. So I think it depends a lot on where the whales and those that spend to unlock and star up characters determine they're going to be good at before they really decide on where to release things. I mean, I'm upset that after Phoenix has been around 2 times now, 3, that we still 2 times. Psylocke and Colossus still aren't farmable, but they talk about how X-Men are the apex arena team. But unless you spent money on Psylocke and Cyclops, Colossus, I think I say Cyclops every time. Unless you spent money on Psylocke and Colossus, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. So, Power Armor hasn't really been released because they're so dominant in war. And they want to give the people that spent money an opportunity to enjoy it as long as possible. Because it encourages them to spend again because they feel like they're going to get some value for their money. And they'll pay an exorbitant price to do so.
Yeah.
Let's see. The World Series will likely be over by the time this airs. What are your predictions? Astros or Walgreens? Do you follow baseball at all?
Oh, I thought you were contemplating an answer on that one.
Oh,
I don't follow baseball in the slightest bit, so
okay.
I have no idea.
And by the way, Walgreens is Washington Nationals.
Okay.
So it's the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals.
Okay. That nice.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of baseball?
Oh, I love baseball. Since moving away from
I knew that.
Cincinnati, I don't follow it like I used to.
Right.
But I love baseball. In fact, I used to program a free online baseball simulation game.
Yeah, that's why I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, wait, of course you do. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn here because a little bit of baseball history. The Houston Astros used to be in the National League Central before going to the American League, and they were rivals of the Cincinnati Reds. So I got a personal animosity towards the Astros. And the Washington Nationals have Bryce Harper, and he's just hateable. So, boy, I don't know. I'm probably gonna say I think the Nationals go on to finish that sweep. I mean, you're looking at a team that's got Cabrera, Adam Eaton, Bryce Harper. Has he played? No, wait. Harper moved to the Phillies. My bad. I'm going Nationals all the way. Oh, I was thinking Harper moved to the Phillies this season. But yeah, Victor Robles, Asdrubal Cabrera, Kurt Suzuki, Trey Turner, who's my fantasy shortstop, dynasty fantasy shortstop, Ryan Zimmerman, Anthony Rendon, one of the better third basemen in the game. The Astros have Jose Altuve, Alex Bergman, Carlos Correa, Josh Reddick.
Are you just going to give us a full list of the roster or what?
Not fully, but I also think that the Nationals pitching's better. But I wasn't a Strasburg fan to start with, but sorry guys, you got me into baseball. That wasn't a good thing.
I only watch hockey, and then I guess the other world sport that I watch, I guess, would be League of Legends, if you consider that a sport. I watch the World Series of that. That's about it.
Yeah. I like hockey. Nashville Predators. So,
I like Stars and Devils.
Okay. All right. That'll work. All right. Well, Hebrew, I think that we have kind of talked to death this this week. Yep, we're at the 2-hour, 10-minute mark. So, is there anything that you want to say before we head out for the week?
Just the normal, like, thank you to all of our patrons, of course. You're awesome. You're the reason why we still have this podcast. Thank you for everyone that's showing up live. We love it whenever you guys show up. So, yeah. And thanks for everyone listening, too. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to thank you for listening to the Ravager Report. You can find us on any and all of your favorite podcast apps or by going directly to our Podbean site at ravagerreport.podbean.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and a review, as it helps us make the show better for you. You can find us on Twitter at RavagerRepo and join our Discord channel at discord.me/RavagerReport. If you would like to help support our show, you can do so at patreon.com/Ravager Report. And for just $5 per month, you can get early access to the uncut live show a few days before it's released. Finally, we do want to send a great big shout out to all our listeners and patrons for their continued support. And until next time, keep fighting, True Believers.